Beseeched by eager rishis gathered around the sacred fire, Sauti, the itinerant storyteller, begins to narrate the Paushya Parva of the Adi Parva from the venerable Mahabharata. This section explores the curse of Sarama and features stories of faithful disciples, notably that of Utanka. Upon the sacred plains of Kurukshetra, Janamejaya, along with his brothers, presides over a mighty sacrifice. Amidst the chants and the crackling fires, an unexpected visitor, a celestial pup, the offspring of Sarama, arrives, drawn by the powerful energies of the ritual. Disturbed by the intrusion, Janamejaya's brothers react with undue harshness, driving the innocent celestial pup away with strikes that send it fleeing in anguish. The wounded soul seeks refuge with its mother, Sarama, bearing the marks of unprovoked wrath. Under the shade of an ancient tree, the celestial dog Sarama listens to her offspring's cries of injustice, stirring her divine ire. With a mother's fury, Sarama, the celestial mother, her form radiant with a divine glow, steps decisively into the sanctified circle where King Janamejaya and his brothers conduct their grand sacrifice. The air around her crackles with the fury of a wronged mother. As she stands before the royal brothers, her voice, powerful yet laden with distress, cuts through the chanting and crackling of the fires. "This my son hath committed no fault," she declares, her gaze unwavering and fierce. "He hath not looked upon your sacrificial butter, nor hath he touched it with his tongue. Wherefore hath he been beaten?" The brothers, caught in the act of injustice, offer no response, their silence is speaking volumes with the authority of a celestial being. Sarama curses, her voice echoing over the plains. "As ye have beaten my son, who hath committed no fault, therefore shall evil come upon ye when ye least expect it." The crowd around them murmurs, the tension palpable as the flames flicker ominously, mirroring the fury in Sarama's eyes. This act of maternal defense casts a shadow over the ceremony, hinting at the unforeseen repercussions that await the royal lineage. The scene closes on Sarama's resolute form, a mother defending her innocent against the might of kings. Haunted by Sarama's curse, King Janamejaya leaves the plains of Kurukshetra burdened with a heavy heart, determined to seek redemption and cleanse the stain upon his honor. Janamejaya stumbles upon the hermitage amidst the dense forest. In the quietude of the forest, Janamejaya encounters the wise rishi Srutasrava and his devout son Somasrava, a meeting fated by the gods to guide a king towards spiritual atonement. Somasrava, born of celestial circumstance and versed in sacred lore, is beseeched by Janamejaya to become his spiritual guide. With hopeful eyes, the king finds a beacon of hope in the young ascetic. Back in Hastinapura, Janamejaya commands his brothers and court to heed every word of Somasrava, sealing a pact of obedience that may either forge their destiny or lead them to unforeseen trials. With Somasrava by his side, Janamejaya sets forth to expand his realm, conquering Takshashila. Each victory not only extends his dominion, but also seeks to appease the gods, in hopes of averting the curse that looms over his lineage. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the countryside of Hastinapura, the tale of Aruni of Panchala reminds us of the virtues of obedience, sacrifice, and innovation. Sent to mend a breach alone, Aruni finds himself against nature's will. With no tools or aid at his disposal, his decision to use his own body to stem the flow of water epitomizes ultimate dedication to his duty. Discovered by his master and fellow disciples, his selfless act earns him a new name, Utanka, and a blessed future, proving that the true strength of a disciple lies in their unwavering devotion to their preceptor's commands. This pivotal moment not only defines his fate, but also enhances his spiritual journey, setting a precedent for all who walk the path of Dharma. In the tranquil expanse of his guru's domain, Upamanyu, one of Ayodhya's devoted disciples, is tasked with the care of Kaine. Day fades into evening as he fulfills his duties, returning to his guru's abode with a respectful salute. The rishi, observing Upamanyu's surprisingly robust health despite his austere life, questions him. "Upamanyu, my child, upon what dost thou support thyself?" To which the young disciple reveals his reliance on alms, only to be challenged further by his master's strict spiritual regimen. Rejected the right to consume his alms and forbidden from second-time begging, Upamanyu adapts. Denied even the milk of the cows, he resorts to the froth left by calves, a desperate measure to satiate his hunger. A blindness overtakes him as a result of his forlorn attempt to stave off hunger, leading to a perilous fall. As the sun dips below the horizon, his absence alarms his preceptor, prompting a search into the encroaching darkness of the forest. In his darkest moment, Upamanyu calls upon the divine twin Aswins, reciting ancient hymns of salvation. Moved by his piety and adherence to his duties despite severe trials, the gods bestow upon him not just restored sight, but also a symbol of divine favor, golden teeth, marking his trials and spiritual resilience. Restored and renewed, Upamanyu stands before his master, who welcomes him with words of praise. "Thou shalt obtain prosperity, as the Aswins have declared, and the Vedas shall shine in thee." Thus concludes the trial of Upamanyu, a tale of endurance, faith, and the purifying power of suffering. In the tranquil surroundings of his preceptor's ashram, Veda, the devoted disciple, serves diligently, embodying the spirit of humility and obedience, bearing the burdens of its master. Having experienced the harshness of servitude, Veda now guides his pupils with compassion, fostering a nurturing learning environment devoid of severity. With his preceptor away, Utanka takes charge of the household, managing its affairs with the diligence and respect imparted by his teachings. Faced with an improper proposition by his preceptor's mistress, Utanka stands firm in his integrity, rejecting the request out of respect for his mentor and moral principles. After a while, his preceptor returned from his journey, and his preceptor, having learnt all that had happened, became well pleased, and addressing Utanka, said, "Utanka, my child, what favour shall I bestow on thee? I have been served by thee duly. Therefore hath our friendship for each other increased. I therefore grant thee leave to depart. Go thou, and let thy wishes be accomplished." Utanka, seeking to honour his preceptor before departing, expressed his desire to present an honorarium as a token of gratitude for his teachings. His preceptor, touched by this gesture, advised Utanka to consult with his mistress for guidance on what the honorarium should be. Upon asking, his preceptress directed him to obtain a pair of earrings worn by the queen of King Paushya, emphasizing their importance for a sacred upcoming event. She mentioned that securing these earrings would bring him good fortune, but failure to do so could result in misfortune. Eager to fulfill this task, Utanka prepared to approach King Paushya to request the earrings, understanding the significant implications of his success or failure. On his quest for the queen's earrings, Utanka faces mystical challenges, meeting extraordinary creatures that test his resolve and obedience. In the majestic court of King Paushya, Utanka, with humility and grace, requests the precious earrings, upholding his duty to his preceptor. Cleansed and pure, Utanka now stands before the queen, who, impressed by his virtue, entrusts him with her earrings, symbols of her own esteem and trust. Utanka's return journey takes a perilous turn as he chases the thief Takshaka, a serpent who steals the earrings from him into the dark heart of the serpent realm, his courage undeterred by the lurking dangers. With divine intervention from Indra, Utanka is empowered to navigate through the realms of serpents and swiftly returns to his preceptor's side, guided by a celestial steed. As Utanka retrieved the earrings, he also learns a shocking truth about Takshaka the serpent. It was Takshaka the serpent that killed Janamajaya's father. Upon his triumphant return, Utanka presents the earrings to his preceptress, receiving her blessings and the promise of good fortune. His spiritual and moral journey affirmed. With his heart heavy with what he learnt about Janamajaya's father, Utanka journeys towards Hastinapura to tell King Janamajaya of his discovery. A solemn and wise Utanka, renowned for his virtue and good deeds, stood before the monarch with a grave demeanor. Addressed by the king, who was known for his generous spirit, the Brahmana responded with a mix of solemnity and urgency. "O king, the matter at hand requires your attention. It is your duty to act upon it. Your father, a king among kings, fell victim to Takshaka, the vile serpent. It is your rightful duty to avenge this unjust death," he declared. Utanka continued, his voice steady and imbued with a sense of destiny. "The time appointed by Fat for vengeance has arrived. Your noble father, who was as exalted as a god and served as the protector of your royal lineage, met his end unprovoked, akin to a mighty tree struck down by thunder. This vile serpent, Takshaka, drunk on his own power, not only committed this heinous act, but also thwarted the efforts of Kasyapa, the eminent physician who could have saved your father." He looked the king directly in the eyes, his own gaze filled with a blend of grief and determination. "It behooves you, O king, to punish this wicked creature through the fiery ritual of a snake sacrifice. Command the preparations for this sacrifice without delay. In doing so, you will not only fulfill your duty as a son, but also avenge the disruption caused by this malevolent serpent to both your father's peace and to my own endeavors. Act now, and let justice be served." His words resonated through the court, a call to action that was both a personal plea and a mandate of destiny, urging the king to restore balance and honor to their lineage. Sauti narrated further, as the tale unfolded in the ancient texts of the Mahabharata. Upon hearing the grievous news relayed by Utanka, King Janamaya's wrath towards Takshaka flared intensely, much like a sacrificial fire fed with clarified butter. The words spoken by Utanka ignited within the prince a fierce desire for justice, fueled further by his deep-seated grief. In the solemn presence of Utanka, the young monarch, driven by his burgeoning sorrow, sought further details from his ministers about the final journey of his father to the celestial abode. The detailed account, as recounted by Utanka, painted a vivid picture of the circumstances surrounding his father's untimely demise. This revelation plunged King Janamaya into profound pain and sorrow, deeply moved by the loss and the betrayal by the serpent, and thus concluded the narrative of the section known as Paushya Parva in the Adi Parva of the revered epic, the Mahabharata, marking a poignant reflection on justice, loss, and the enduring quest for truth in the face of adversity.